Oh man, I hope that in the future we will look back at this time and it's like, wow, we were subhumans. Maybe just like we
Right.
talk about the ancient people. That's what I would like to contribute to a world where, hey, we've given up that scarcity, competitive mindset and turned to empowering everybody. Just a bright future, like we dream about as little kids. That's there for everybody. Just rewire. I mean, we literally have to rewire our brains to this different way of thinking.
Decentralized, don't compromise, be unauthorized, decentralized, decentralized, got to realize, don't decarbonize, decentralized, decentralized.
Welcome to Decentralized TV from the new Brighteon studios here in Texas. I'm Mike Adams, joined today with my guest, Todd Pittner. Welcome, Todd, to the show. And do you like the new studio, by the way?
Man, oh man, it looks great. When you first, that opening shot of Decentralized TV, that is a wow. I can't wait to see it in person.
Oh, man, I can't wait for you to come here and visit. And, of course, we'll shoot episodes in person. But, yeah, hey, to my crew, go ahead, show that camera angle again. Let's show the audience a couple of different angles here of what we have going on. Yeah, give us camera 6. There we go. Yep. That's
Wow.
the big shot. And then do you have like a full wide shot? Oh, that's a side. Okay, side angle. That's interesting. Do you have like a wide shot from the front, or what do we have? Or from a different angle? We don't have anything set up for today. Because the cameras are pointed at the other guest that we had 2 days ago. So
Okay.
Anyway, you get the idea. It's a whole new studio setup.
I get the idea. And Mike, I know you have been so actively building out that studio and hard at work, and you have so many initiatives going on. I just want to let you know, I think it's been about 3 weeks since we recorded an episode, and I missed you, man.
I know, I missed doing the show too. And that's why I'm looking forward so much to today's guest, who I think is
Man.
going to be the perfect fit for this show. It's like,
Yeah,
we should have had him on day one.
I know. Everybody go to your dictionary and look up decentralized.tv, and this guest, his face is going to be right next to it. You'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, so we're going to bring in our amazing guest here today. Todd, are you ready for this one?
I am. We actually had a viewer of DTV message me about our guest and said, you must have him on. And I did my bit of due diligence, and I messaged you in Signal, and I said, we must have him on.
Absolutely.
Well, the rest is history. I can't wait for everybody to just enjoy. You want to talk about, if you open up the dictionary and you looked at found the word decentralization, decentralization stud, our guest's picture is right.
And I found out in researching our guest, I found out, and I remember that I had seen his speeches from 2011 and 2012 and so on, and I thought it was the best idea ever. So we're going to bring him on. It's Marcin Jakubowski, and he is with Open Source Ecology, and he's got events coming up, and he's got lots of new things coming up. So Marcin, welcome to the show. It's a great honor to have you on today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, we love what you are all about, and which is, decentralization, open source, manufacturing of agricultural equipment to decentralized food production and much more. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're into and why it matters for humanity?
Global Village Construction Set. So the program is to basically open source civilization. Hey, different paradigm for society. How do we get along where knowledge is open? You can learn fully, product design is open, the end of patents, local microfactories, resilient systems. That's the name of the game. I think the bottom line connects back to freedom, allowing basically creating abundant, widespread open access to all the technical know-how of humanity so that we can thrive. Okay, thriving is the bottom line.
And specifically, you don't just talk about this. You designed and released all. Can you tell us what you have available right now that people can tap into?
Right. So we've been working on a global village construction set for about a couple of decades now, and that's the 50 of the most important machines, tools that make modern life exist. And we publish all the blueprints online for free. So we've built things like your tractors, 3D printers, compressed earth block press, houses, you name it.
Wow.
Name some of the most critical devices. Now, we're not there yet. There's 50 machines. We've got 17 different prototypes. Right now, the absolute full product release is it's called the Seed Eco Home. It's an affordable, expandable home with ecological features. And the way we develop it is that not only do we design the blueprints openly, but also the enterprise and also how you make the materials yourself too. So it's basically reinventing the industrial ecology to make a better civilization.
Well, Todd, again, thank you so much for recommending that we bring Marcin on. It's just a perfect fit. But in your view, Todd, why do you think this is such a great fit for decentralized living that we advocate?
Well, because at some point in time, there's going to be entire neighborhoods or villages that are going to be built with, as he shared, Seed Eco homes in days, not weeks or months, in days, and that are debt-free and community-owned. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I mean, I live on a ranch. I own tractors, John Deere tractors, and I know that John Deere for a long time, they had software level control so that you couldn't even start your tractor if you weren't paid up on your loan. And if you did anything to modify the John Deere tractor, then it would void the whole warranty. And that's not okay with me. I want to be able to fix stuff on my own farm, right? That's important.
Absolutely.
Marcin?
That's exactly it. You named it. What can I add to that? The idea that we should be in control of our technology, not technology controlling us. So we've got an amazing technological system that could provide for everybody. And we certainly believe in abundance, but it's all these artificial mechanisms in civilization that make things scarce. And that's just not the way first principles operate with abundant energy and abundant resources on the planet.
It also seems to me like we're approaching the end game of the financialization of our Western system, and we're going to have a new system. And I think what you provide, Marcin, needs to be a fundamental pillar of a system that works for humanity in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I would share the idea that, things are broken. There's, what is that called? It's Metcalfe's law. 90% of everything is bad. Choose the stuff that's good. I mean, there's so much optimization and evolution that society can go through. So the next, in our world, the next economy is the open source economy. It's a collaborative economy where, we can take care of everybody. That's the bottom line.
Wow. Todd, love it. Open source economy. I mean, this is what we practice this on the show all the time. This is how we live also.
Absolutely. Marcin, this is for the benefit of our viewers, just who may not know about your past, but you took I'd call it the usual path a young man travels by graduating with honors from Princeton and then earning an esteemed PhD in fusion physics from the University of Wisconsin, and then starting a farm in rural Missouri, which became the birthplace for
the fusion capital of America.
That's right. And it became the birthplace of the Global Village Construction Center, GVCS. So, no big deal. Marcin, I have two questions. What was your red pill moment that drove you from academia to pursue real world independence? And two, what is open source ecology and the Global Village Construction Set?
Red pill moment was actually starting to meditate. This was during the PhD program. And I pretty much tuned to a different wavelength. I started really thinking about what, with the advanced technology that we have. I mean, I always thought about benefit to humanity that technology can provide. My father's a scientist. But the farther I was going in my PhD program, the less useful I was feeling to society. So I've spoken this story many times, but basically, you got your theoretical professors writing equations across half the board, and they don't even these things that they talk about don't even exist. So it's like, okay, we've got hunger, poverty, real issues. I come from Poland, so I've seen some of that material deprivation side too, prior to the Iron Curtain falling down. And that was not okay. I had a real disconnect and pretty much tuned into just thinking about open collaboration, because even in my PhD program, I was not able to talk openly to others. And once I really started delving into that and thinking about it and meditating on that, pretty much the idea of open source ecology was born. It's an idea of an operating system for Earth that would be based on true open collaboration. So I just said the example where even at the academia, you're not able to talk openly about things. And I was thinking, it's like, well, how does this persist throughout civilization where everything is closed and hidden in black boxes, your John Deeres that you can't touch what's under the hood and things like that? It's just a super inefficient system. And I was also introduced actually to Linux, the computer, the open source operating system at that time. Interestingly, I was like, whoa, you mean you can just download this for free and modify it, run it, put new software on it, whatever. And yeah, it's there's different options. So once you pretty much maybe disconnect or just start thinking differently than what's presented to you on the consumer platter, then things become much more interesting. Yeah.
So first of all, that's fascinating, and I love what you just said. And it's really critical. Like I said, the current closed source system is not going to work for humanity. And you mentioned patents, and I completely agree with you. I am strongly opposed to the current intellectual property system, which seems to benefit powerful corporations that then exploit essentially government-granted monopoly power over the people. And that's also true in medicine, by the way, with the pharmaceuticals. They exert monopoly power and don't let you talk about nutrition. So what would you say to somebody that said, well, without patents, there would be no innovation? Because, I mean, we can laugh about that, but that's a serious argument that people put out there. What's your response to that?
It's an argument we deal with all the time. But I think the true answer is without patents, the innovation would be unleashed. Because if you just think about it, it's like, okay, in school, you don't learn the best stuff. All the good stuff, meaning things that work, optimized commercial designs, they're all proprietary. So think about it, when you're learning about it, there's absolutely no chance in heaven that you would get access to actual effective learning. So everyone tries to reinvent the wheel, they compete, and it's just not an efficient system. Now what do you say to an argument that somebody says, oh, well, I can invest into this and then protect it? Yeah, that's a decent argument, but I don't know. There's economic examples that's a choice, I would say, but there's no law of nature that says a thing must be patented. That's a complete human figment. And
well, I think there are also other incentives other than profit. Many people want to help humanity. Many people want to contribute. Many wealthy people even want to contribute. And so, those arguing that there will be no innovation if you end patents, they're not looking at the fact that even also nature innovates all the time. I mean, think about biomimicry, of trying to mimic the molecules in plants. Well, the plants didn't need patents to come up with vitamin C. They synthesized vitamin C by themselves, completely free of charge, no royalties. So how did that happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, for software, open source has been normalized, so there's a great precedent there. Just when it comes to innovation in hardware, people just do not connect that the same kinds of mechanisms that make software work, meaning more rapid innovation, lower cost, higher efficiency, all of that good stuff. That is just inevitable. Right now, I believe personally that we're in a stone age of innovation and R&D and everything.
I agree.
My take.
But Marcin, if and Mike, if there are no patents, it's going to hurt a lot of lawyers' feelings, isn't it, guys?
There are remedies for that, yes.
The idea is that, we have to shift to endeavors that are actually much more fulfilling. So how many lawyers love their job? I'm not sure. Probably, I don't know. But the idea is that, no, you shift away from things that are dedicated to the economy of competition and scarcity, And you just replace that with, now imagine just following your true passions and ideals, right? You just unleash a different lifestyle, as opposed to, I think, I got to be this lawyer or doctor or a proprietary manufacturer to make ends meet. That's an option. It's a really inefficient one.
Now, can I change course here? I have a totally different question for you about your blueprints on equipment. I believe your equipment is primarily those that have engines are designed around combustion engines. And I'm wondering I'm waiting for sodium ion battery chemistry to become widespread, which is just beginning to happen. And I'm wondering if you're thinking that down the road that many of your machines might be standardized around a sodium ion power center that could be universal, and it would simplify a lot of the parts on machines. Is that something that I'm sure you've thought about that? Where are you going with that?
Thought about it, and the first principles answer: chemical battery power is 10x lower embodied energy than fuels. So what we talk about is another form of abundance, and that's called solar hydrogen. So you've got solar energy, which now is near zero marginal cost. And we favor the idea of solar hydrogen.
That makes sense.
Even if you use that in combustion engines, you don't even need fuel cells. Solar hydrogen, internal combustion engines, today we have a revolution if we want to.
See, that's a really good point. So for the audience, you have solar power cracking water, producing hydrogen. You're storing energy every single day, and then you pump that hydrogen into your tractor engine or whatever engine you want, and you can build the engine.
For example, we intend to make the hydrogen appliance a standard feature in all our homes. There you go.
Love it. Okay, perfect. And for those concerned about carbon, that's a non-carbon emitting technology cycle or energy cycle right there.
It's probably a lot of people are going to question safety. Those issues and all that, they've been worked out. It's like a lot of people say, you're going to explode, blow the world up. No, those are technical issues. They've been solved.
Yeah. But you still have the complexity of all the parts. How do you handle combustion engine parts like oil filters and belts and things like that?
Oh yeah. The answer is simple. With open source, of course. Open design for everything, and you manufacture the stuff. Look, there's no limit to what open source can do. If you open the information, you can have distributed manufacturing anywhere. So I used to be more of the guy that would say, maybe we got, like, for example, the initial engine within a Global Village construction set was a steam engine. And after learning enough about it, I thought, it's an old technology, maybe simpler. But it turns out actually internal combustion engines I actually don't find fault with them. They're actually, if you open source them and you have, say, open source CNC machining and whole production and design tool chains, which allow you to do now lifetime design, not things that last your skid steer, 5,000 hours. You get to buy a new one if you're in production like a builder. How about 50 years, because you can replace the parts and maintain it and upgrade it. How about that with modular power units, for example?
So it seems like then 3D printing is something that you've talked about that I know you're very interested in. Of course, I've done a lot of 3D printing and 3D design, and as you know, the so-called metal filaments are not yet, ready for production in most renditions of 3D printing, but that can change very rapidly. Do you see a future where maybe every household would have a metal capable 3D printer or a polymer capable printer that's not just a bunch of layers that fall apart, but rather something very durable, and you just you can print out a tractor essentially?
I actually do. It's the technology, like for example, with wire arc additive manufacturing, that's where you're depositing instead of filament, you're actually doing a precise welder that builds up parts in 3D. Then there's all these like laser sintering kinds of routes with powders. But no, I mean, from first principles, why not? The technology is definitely improving. As far as the evolution of humanity is, we have seen nothing yet. Technology moves forward. So if the technology becomes open and accessible to everybody, yes, you can do that in your backyard, pending availability of design.
Right.
But what about our HOAs? Aren't they going to give us a... Sorry.
Yeah, they'll the HOAs will, we will be the solar hydrogen HOA.
Love it.
Wow, Todd, how would you like to print out a tractor? But then you'd have to assemble it because it would print all the parts. and then
Right.
you have to put together. But that'd be a fun project too. And then you could have a tractor with your raccoons in the backyard there.
We're all project guys, and my raccoons can chip in. They're pretty
They
smart.
can help. They have fingers.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
Little raccoon fingers. Yeah,
With opposing thumbs.
that's right. Make them use
And
ratchets
regarding-
and stuff. Okay.
Regarding assembly part, I mean, different ways to do it. You can print modular parts. You can print more monolithic assemblies, like say a whole shell structure frame, like more like a space frame. So yeah, you do open up some possibilities and
I'm just going to print a robot and tell it to assemble the rest of it. That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
that's coming.
yeah. There you
That's self-replicating, self-printing robots that print more robots like themselves.
Right. Hey,
But
Mark. Oh, go ahead.
let me point out one thing about it.
Yeah.
It's like that's already there, but it's centralized. That's
Yeah,
impossible.
right.
The key here is, where is that robot? Robot slaves that will take care of everybody's life forever. That was promised a long time ago. Well, it exists, but it's because the costs are high and all the info is locked up and not open.
Yeah.
This becomes the realm of centralized big power mongering, not distributed production. So
Right.
that's a comment on that.
Wait, real quick, Todd. Let me give out his a couple of websites
Sure.
that he's got. So the base URL is opensourceecology.org, which I have on my screen. But what we want to bring your attention to today is this, which is learn.opensourceecology.org. So just put learn dot in front of it. And then this features the Future Builders Academy, how to become a future builder. And I just want to, after your question, Todd, I just want to give Marcin an opportunity to tell us about this website, but go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
So Marcin, the Global Village construction set fascinated me, and it is a set of the 50 most important machines that it takes for modern life to exist. So 2 questions. Among the 50 machines, which would you urge a budding community, let's say, to build first, and why? And 2, in a grid down or crisis scenario like economic collapse, supply chain disruption, severe weather, how much of a community survival can OSE tools realistically provide?
Okay. So the first tool I would build is the 3D printer, because
Wow.
that's it's smaller scale, easier, and it's quite amazing at what can do, even if you're doing 3D printed plastics. But think about it though, with plastics, you can embed metal, Kevlar, carbon fiber into that plastic. So now the things you're printing gain this extra performance. So you can really go far just with basic technologies there. Okay, as far as resilient scenario, sorry guys, not yet, because we're completely dependent on commercial supply chains right now. However, the goal is to finish all the 50 things, which include things like induction furnace for metal melting and metal rolling to make virgin steel from scrap, various things like that, CNC machining, so that once all the tools are in there, you're independent of the supply chains. And we're about 4 years. Our goal is to scale rapidly right now. By 2028, finish the 50 tools.
Wow.
This also seems to me like this is the civilization pod that would be shipped with a crew that went to Mars or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
If you're going to land on another planet, this is the tech that you need, because you can't say, oops, the oil filter is back on Earth. How do we start civilization from scratch? That's really the problem that you're working on here and solving.
Yeah. It's rocks, sunlight, plants, soil, water. That's the substances from which all of our modern comforts are made. Got to get back to them.
Wow.
The ability to process those abundant natural resources into the livestock of modern civilization. That's the goal. That
is fascinating, because you're recreating actually thousands of years of innovation. You're sort of repackaging it in a simpler timeline. That's super cool. Did you have to study a lot of history to get to your designs on these machines?
What you do is, I say a lot of what industry standards are. What has society done before? Definitely his technological history is important, because at that point you get to understand, hey, these things have a natural progression. There's different ways to do things. There may be some things right now that are out there that shouldn't be, or things that didn't make it out there. It's all human made. It's all we are the directors of that. But yeah, absolutely. You have to, if you're going to try to create something from scratch, you really got to study what's existed. So we talk about recreating not only the industrial economic system, but therefore the new institutions that live on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this question. And sorry, Todd, if I'm jumping in too much, but on my ranch, I found that I can do almost everything that I need to do in terms of moving dirt and creating berms for rainwater capture and so on with just 3 machines. So I own a skid steer, I own a small excavator, and then I own a dump truck. With those 3 pieces of equipment, I can do everything that I need to do. And I could even go without maybe the skid steer. It'd just be a lot slower. But those 3 is like a magic combination. So these are the kinds of principles that you work on, right? There's just certain key pieces of equipment that you have to get things done.
Yeah, exactly right. We have a term for that concept. It's called degeneracy. It's the idea that instead of like 100 different engines, why don't we build one that is actually good? Right now, all the engine guys, all the different engine manufacturers say, no, we're the best. And there's fan ships on each of these engines. But no, I mean, none of them are good. They're all poor because they all are competing. So we look at this idea, okay, what are the most important smaller set of tools and technologies that will do everything for you? Things that are very generative, things that you can treat as a construction set, i.e. like a construction set approach. So for example, if you've got a common bunch of parts like frames, engine units, hydraulics, you can build a tractor, a brick press, a CNC machine, you can build your excavator and dump truck and loader and all that. So we focus on the modules that make all of technology up.
Wow. Love it. Todd, back to you.
Well, excuse me. I was just making a note. If I get stranded on an island, Marcin is with me.
Call Marcin on your sat phone,
Yeah. So,
with an open source jet plane, we'll come to the rescue.
Exactly. So, I was thinking about, your top 50, and I was just fantasizing about maybe just sending those top 50 to Washington. And I was curious if a bulldozer happened to be one of your top 50, Marcin.
It indeed is. The tractor and bulldozer are both in there.
Excellent. So in past interviews, you referenced, and I love this, that failures are actually fertilizer. Tell me, what's been your most painful failure or setback on this journey, and what did it teach you about human nature or decentralized collaboration?
Well, the biggest setback is the lack of what we call collaborative literacy, the idea that people truly collaborate. So it even had the biggest hippies, once they actually develop something, they privatize it. We've seen that with people who came to our site. So the culture is rare. People who are actually possess the diverse skill sets, starting with an abundance mindset. I mean, that is absolutely missing. The collaborative abundance mindset, which prevents people from collaborating. Because if you think about this, we can have a completely open civilization, like with a minimal amount of effort. Like that effort is actually, I calculate it to be $50 billion. You can open source all of civilization. That's in fact our goal by 2036. But if you think about it, it's like, okay, now we've got this new kernel that propagates and everything else is done openly. That's a game changer. But nobody has that kind of mindset that says, okay, if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to collaborate on this, there's going to be a benefit for everybody. Everybody's just thinking, oh, if it's open, I can't make money. So especially the entrepreneurs, we've seen very few entrepreneurs that actually get the idea, because we think, oh, well, we published the tractor blueprints, the brick press. Surely like hundreds of people are now going to take it and start businesses all over the world.
Right.
Zero.
Well, it's kind of like, rare, right, is an entrepreneur that creates an entire new AI engine that competes with Grok and Chat GPT and gives it to the world for free, Yeah.
Which is, because we just did that. Thanks for the intro there, Todd. Let me bring this up to show Marcin how much we align philosophically. So on my screen here, please. So we built an AI engine that is trained on hundreds of millions of pages of content, including growing food, harvesting food, preserving food, extracting medicinal components, and it's at brightu.ai here, and currently we call it Enoch. But the important thing that we did, if you click downloads, you can download the decentralized file, the GGUF file right here, and then you can run it locally yourself. You never need internet again to have access to all this compressed knowledge. And so, yeah, go ahead, Marcin.
Do you have any machines or designs of actual things that can help us too?
Not in this engine, except we did train it on how to disassemble and reassemble 3,000 firearms, if that counts. But we would, if you have material that we could add to the training of this model documents, we would absolutely welcome that. Now, it's got, actually, there's a lot of old books in it. There's about 10,000 books that it was trained on. Many of those are sort of old pioneer type of, technologies or approaches to growing food, or building a root cellar, or how to diagnose problems on plants or pests or mineral deficiencies in the soil and things like that. So we designed this engine just like what you're doing, Marcin. We designed it to be able to give to somebody on a thumb drive, somebody that does not have the internet access. Maybe they're in a developing nation. They can load it up and they can have the world's how-to knowledge at their fingertips for free, open source.
I love it. For free. And MIT license, I like it. Yeah.
MIT, exactly.
You can parse our wiki. So I don't know. The wiki is a trove of this kind of information I'm telling you about.
Okay, so where is your wiki? I mean, say no more. Let me get my crawler working on that.
wiki.opensourceecology.org.
Oh, crazy. Okay, I love it. Okay. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. Thank you.
Aren't you glad I cracked a joke, Mike?
I love it. Yeah. Because we believe in the same things here. And what we love about you, Marcin, is that like you get it. Because we live in a society where everybody wants to be Elon Musk. This is, I want to make $1 billion by controlling everything and centralizing everything. Okay, well, that's great for Elon, but what about, there's 8 billion other people. Many of them are starving. Many of them are in poverty. Many of them don't have shelter. What are we going to do for those 8 billion people,
Yeah, and that's an absolutely powerful question, because the solutions for that all exist, and it's a matter of opening up access to the information. Just get away from hoarding. Yeah.
Yep. Knowledge wants to be free. That's what I've said. And the other great thing, Marcin, is that all of our data curation processing for this engine happens on 48 workstations running Linux.
All right.
So
there you go.
It's all perfect. I don't pay Microsoft a dime.
Hey, Marcin, what do you think it is about humanity to where we, are hoarders, or we're like, we resist open source, and we are just looking out for where's my fancy pants and lollipops in all of this?
I think it has to do with the reptilian brain, the idea that our psychology has not evolved. So the threat of survival was real, maybe 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago, when we crawled out from the muck or whatever. But our mind is still in that kind of mode of flight and fight response. So very easily, if our existence is threatened in any way, we go to the negative response very quick. We get afraid really quickly. And that, I think, predominates. That's the underpinning of the whole scarcity-based economy. It's like, if I give away my stuff, I'm going to be threatened. So that does not meet the current status of amazing technology that actually can provide for everybody, which was not true maybe a long time ago, but right now it is, and our brains haven't caught up to that.
You know what? I mean, there are a couple of kinds of math. There's 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. 3, right? And then there's the math, if you approach it a little differently, like I believe you are, where 1 + 1 + 1 can equal 111. It's greater than the sum of our parts. And I do see that out there, but it's rare. So you are providing that, and we're grateful.
Yeah, I mean, I must say it's extremely rare. I mean, what other company out there is actively developing open source goods that anyone can download and build themselves? For example, the house. You can download all our blueprints right now, start an enterprise. If you can run a crew, like we talk about with the 24 person swarm builds,
Right.
it's a $5 million a net revenue model. You can just take all our designs, take our enterprise model and run with it.
Wow.
But who else is doing that kind of work? I wish there were, because I would take it and run with it myself. I want to build the integrated prototype communities of tomorrow.
It's everything that you advocate here is also, it's very interesting. It's kind of begging for automation at the edge, not centralized automation, but automation at the edge. And so I'm thinking that eventually you'll have a plan for building a ranch robot, which is something that's been on my list for a long time. I want like a rural robot that is open, that's running open source, an open source brain. But it seems like living off grid, living decentralized is going to require some level of fusing technology with old world wisdom at the same time, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You've got to build on use what works already. You can have your fancy things like the automation or your automated skid steer with a computer artificial intelligence grading system, which we would be able to build for like $25,000 as opposed to $180,000 for a commercial system today. All that kind of stuff. That's new stuff. But absolutely, use the wisdom of yesterday. Use your perennial polycultures as opposed to, say, genetic engineering. Maybe there's some good things for genetic engineering, but why don't we focus more on the integrated systems thinking that maybe all technology is more based upon?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love the fact that your plans contain a skid steer. I say this as a joke, but it's true. My skid steer is the most expensive vehicle I own because it's way more expensive than my truck, but it's also the most important thing that I own on the ranch for moving boulders and many other things and all the attachments. So, that's interesting that even in the skid steer community, or compact track loader, as they're called when they have tracks, there's an open source attachment system, right? I mean, an open source interconnectedness that I use all the time. So I can go out and buy 1,000 different attachments that attach onto it and use the hydraulics. So there's kind of an inkling of open source thinking, right?
There's a hint of it. And the point is that can be taken to the extreme where, for one, we use the the Bobcat quick attach ourselves.
But
the logical extreme of that is, well, first of all, you got to open source the design, open source the automated fabrication mechanisms for doing that, and then let people design their own. So in software like FreeCAD, you have workbenches that help you design these new tools and then share them, improve them over time. Start a business upon it. Build that automated grader for the skid steer that would otherwise cost you $180,000. And you can do that for, with simple Arduino-like and RTK GPS kind of parts that are obtainable for like $500 now. So the reality is that we can do much more. There are hints, but I don't think anybody thinks in this. It does not make good money, because then you're talking about, lifetime design, infinite functionality. You buy it once, you are free forever. That's a hard business model to execute on. We're working on exactly that. We call it the universal basic assets, creating architectures, institutions where you can build stuff for free.
Wait a minute,
That's a hard business model.
Instead of universal basic income, universal basic assets.
Exactly.
I love it. And you're right. No venture capital firm is going to invest in this idea because they're like, what's your repeat business model? Oh, it doesn't exist because people are set up for life.
Yeah, but tell me, I got a question for you. So how do people adjust that? Because at that point, you got to be able to find meaning in your own life. And maybe that's a big part that scares a lot of people. How do you guys think about that? Because the technical ability is absolutely there for everybody to thrive. So how do you answer when somebody says, well, what am I going to do? Or what am I going to do for a living? Like, how do you answer that?
Well, personally, I think the entire understanding, the cultural understanding of money is about to undergo a collapse and a revolution. And notably, the GDP does not count happiness, health, or joy, or any of the things that matter in people's lives. So I think money as we know it is becoming obsolete. And that's going to force a cultural reevaluation of what are systems of value. But I don't know. What do you think, Todd? What would you add to that?
I don't know. Just direct people to their remote controls. They'll be happy.
Yeah. Do you think there's an uptick in sensitivity to people wanting this true freedom at this time in history as things are going down the basket? I think there is, absolutely. It's an opportunity right now.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I just have to borrow this because, I help people acquire these unincorporated nonprofit associations, and Marcin just nailed it. Buy it once, free forever. Right. So that resonates. And I can tell you, I have about 400 people I've helped acquire these who totally resonate with this mindset, Marcin.
Well, if that's the case, sign them up to the Future Builders Academy, because that's what we're training people to do, to create these innovative business models where we liberate all of society. And we're doing it. I mean, we're not far. We've got a long way to go, but this is what it's about.
Marcin, you're going to love this, and I don't mean to keep plugging my projects, but this one is exactly in line. We're about to launch. It's brighteonbooks.com. It's an open source free book generator, the world's knowledge at your fingertips, created in minutes for free. And all of these books will be nonfiction books, mostly how-to books. And we let the users use our AI engine and all of our special setup to generate the books. And then every book that every user generates is instantly downloadable by all other users completely free. So
that's amazing. So how are you funding or doing this? How did you get into the mindset of doing exactly this?
Oh, well, we have a very successful online store of nutrition and health products, healthrangerstore.com. And we just directly appeal to our base to say, look, you shop with us because we have a lab and we do lab testing. We sell clean lab tested products. You shop with us, and then we will build tools for humanity and give them away for free. That's our message.
I love it.
And it absolutely works. They choose to support us.
Yes.
It's like, I will pay more for your turmeric supplement because I know what you're doing with the profit. You're building systems that give back to humanity. And as far as I know, there's no other corporation that would even dare attempt such a model.
No.
Huh.
But what do your board of directors say, Mike, that you have to be accountable for?
My wife? And, we're all in. I mean, this is our model. It's a pro-human model, and it's a pro-knowledge model, and we're just bypassing the gatekeepers. We're not asking for permission, right, Marcin? We do not ask for permission. That's your philosophy too.
We go about doing so. We create, right? So the creator controls their creation, right? I mean, it's all made up. It's completely negotiable. So we completely believe that as in the entrepreneurial spirit of true free enterprise.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait again to crawl your wiki. I'm going to get the model train on all your stuff. So the next version, when people start asking, actually, because our book generator uses the knowledge that the model has been trained on, but it also references external documents. So I can take all your web pages, I can put them in our external index in a week, and it'll start influencing the books that are generated the very next day.
Awesome.
So thank you, Marcin.
Thank you. Yeah. That's cool. Awesome. I'm curious, like what would come out of this in terms of maybe people collaborating on further open designs, because it's going to take a lot of people. Like the real budget, we estimate $50 million within 4 years, and we're aiming to bootstrap that through the actual house sales, for which we're doing an apprenticeship. So we're ambitious about it. But I mean, the real cost, it's like if you're going to develop an open source skid steer, say from the point where we are, we've done all the prototypes. We've done about 7 prototypes. Now to commercialize, I mean, that's a long way. That's where it takes it from that one-off kind of thing that you can do in your garage or whatever to something that anybody can build anywhere. And
tell us about your upcoming event happening in December.
December 1 to the 14th. So we're building a house, one of the Seed Eco homes, a complete 720 square foot, high quality starter home in 2 weeks. So you go through all the build process from foundation to the photovoltaics on the roof, heat pumps, thermal battery, and all the stuff in just 2 weeks.
And
what-
where can
sign up for
people, sign up or watch it, or what's the?
Yeah. There's a link at the learn.open source ecology for the Future Builder crash course. Also, just go to the opensourceecology.org and you'll see the extreme build events. So this is an example of an extreme build event where, for example, this house we built with 50 people in only 5 days. And we use this modular swarm-based build method. And I talk about that in a video. You can click on it.
That's awesome.
So should people click sign up here? I mean, give us an action item. Like, what should people
Action
click
item
on?
is there's so this is this trying to get people for the builder crash. If you scroll down, sign up for the next builder crash course right below it. Sign up for the
right
future
here.
builder crash course.
Okay.
That's the link you want to click.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
Then you
people
can see the background on a global village construction set. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Because there's
yeah.
going to be a lot of interest in this, and people will want to participate and learn from this and see the videos, etc. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
So, Marcin, what would you estimate that would cost? Right? Do you have any
The
idea?
house.
Yeah.
The house
got
is
it
$40K in
On the
materials.
page right here.
40,000 in materials. Put that on a plot of land. You've just generated $400,000 for the equivalent price of a small home.
Wow.
It's $40,000, you said?
In materials.
You have to know how to build it. Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
It
I got
includes the
you.
photovoltaics,
I got
all
you.
the stuff you see in there, all the efficiency features.
Wow.
Amazing.
Mhm.
And does
Yeah.
could you benefit from on-site materials if you had sand or clay or gravel
So-
on site or mud?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is, you're going back to the universal basic assets. Now, the promise in our apprenticeship is you go to study with us 4 years. We build you a house for free. How
Wow.
do you do that? So, lumber mill, compressed earth block press, solar concrete production. We even will produce steel and 3D printed parts. So invest in the capital infrastructure necessary to actually build the materials, including things like insulation, like whether hempcrete or other 3D printed fiber materials and things like that. It's invest in that infrastructure that can make the materials cost go down to negligible.
Hey, Todd,
Gravel. Well, there's like $2,000 to $4,000 in gravel per house.
Wow.
the answer from the government, though, is a 50-year mortgage on a house that's poorly built
Yeah.
that won't last 50 years. I mean,
No.
Yeah.
that's insane. Todd, do you want
Yeah,
a 50-year mortgage?
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer go to our school at 18, and by 22, you've got that dream American home, and there you go. You can spend your life
Beautiful.
doing whatever you love.
That's
Right,
awesome.
Right. And we don't all need to live in McMansions that are 5,000 square feet and have 7 bathrooms or whatever. I mean, that's too much maintenance.
Oh yeah,
Come
Oh, yeah.
on.
No,
Okay. Yeah, Todd, all yours.
Okay.
I'm just so blown away here.
Yeah, it's amazing. Marcin, let's talk about truly decentralized communities.
Yep.
So can you paint us a picture of a small community running its own open source microfactory? What are they producing? How are they sharing? And how self-sufficient can they become?
So here's the idea. I mean, when we think about this, is we think about what Walt Disney actually thought about when he coined the concept of Epcot, which is the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. That didn't end up that. It turned out to be an amusement park, but the idea was, let's show what can be done. So for us, it's 1,000 acres, 10,000 people. We've got all the productive know-how. So you're producing your milk, bread, tractors, and technology, energy, everything, materials. Initially, so that's 1,000 acres. We look at a prototype. What we want to do is actually 10,000 people, and you run this amazing economy. And if you use the tools in the Global Village Construction Set, the numbers add up to a $4 billion economy when you work 2 days a week.
Wow.
Based on insane productivity, such as, you can understand this very easily, a mobile production sawmill generates about $20,000 worth of lumber per day. It's that kind of stuff, the radical productivity that you do have embodied in technology. And if you can use it wisely, if it's fully available, you're just doing that easily. And then your lifestyle is, okay, you've got this regenerative lifestyle, you're making your own food and energy and things in the community. And it can be structured, whatever business structures, however you want it, but everything is just clean and integral and honest, and nobody's left behind in such a community. Now it does the big block there, the skill sets to do that. How do we do that? That's why we started the 4-year program. But any civilization transform effort must start with education, though. I mean, that's kind of one of our learnings.
Absolutely. And
will the 3D printers print SNAP benefits in your community?
They'll 3D print your retirement plan. Indeed.
Marcin, the other thing that I've come to learn in years of experimenting with these kinds of things and building out systems is, for example, for food production, the West likes to make things overly complicated with, for example, hydroponic food production requires very complex pumps, chemistry monitoring, and so on. Well, years ago, I stumbled across non-circulating suspended net pot aeroponic hydroponics, no pumps. You don't lose your crop if the power goes out. It came out of ancient technology in Taiwan for growing plants on rafts, where the part of the roots are in the air and the other roots are in the water, and the nutrients are automatically brought up. You don't need any pumps at all. I'm telling you, Todd, we were growing for years. We were growing kale and lettuce. We were growing freaking okra out of these boxes with no electricity at all. And yet I shared that with the world, and there were some schools that were interested, but by and large, there was not any kind of major interest in it. Everybody was like, no, I want a really complex system that can fail at any time. Marcin, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. You have those designs?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, send them
we
on.
do. Sure. In fact, we use a CNC laser to cut the holes for the net pots out of lids on bins, polyethylene lids. And for a while, we even sold them in our store. And people loved them, but they're big and bulky. But
so we've on the CD home, we've done the aquaponic greenhouse. So that's fish. You do have pumps in there, but it's a highly ecological integrated system with integrated pest management and everything. But I mean, there's technology for everything. But like in a system like that, just to give you an example, you have to know what you're talking about in terms of how to make it work. For example, with all the pest management stuff,
True.
The integrated nature of that whole system. That's the kind of learning, the integrated learning that people have to go through.
And the fish system that you were just talking about, that is very complex because you have to infuse O2 into that water for those fish because they're living in a very high density population water.
Yeah.
If you lose oxygen infusion, you lose the whole population.
Yeah, depending on how densely you stock it. Yeah. In our system, like the fish, actually the tilapia would come up for air if the pumps went out, which sometimes we forgot to put the pumps on.
Oh, I'm glad they're okay. But like you, I like to go for really simple low tech things where possible, but then sometimes we use high tech to make the low tech things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect blending of the old and new.
Absolutely. Because and Todd, your reaction to this, but you and I both, we love things that work when the power grid goes out or when a hurricane blows through like it did at your place in Florida. Yep. We know earthquakes happen. We know that our modern world is unpredictable in many ways. I want resilient, redundant systems that are very low tech that I can depend on, like gravity rainwater collection.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. A lot of things make perfect sense. And a lot of those things maybe are not in place because nobody's making money on them.
So true. All right, Todd, next question is yours.
Marcin, as governments and corporations tighten digital and physical control systems, what strategies, technological and cultural, can communities use to remain sovereign?
It goes as far as regulatory capture. You create the new economy, and the new economy creates the new politics. So, I mean, think about it. If we've got our village on 1,000 acres, and we're on top of 4 billion of production, we kind of get to call the rules. We get to own the economy. I look at it as a positive version of so-called regulatory capture, where you become the law because you've got the economic power. So I believe that the institutions I think it's obvious. The institutions come from economic power. Now, if the economic power source base is completely different, then you better believe your politics and governance all of that will be different too, right? So we look at it as this fundamental, create the thing from the bottom up. Now that's a big challenge because there's a lot of work to be done there. You're literally recreating systems like Phoenix from the ashes, right?
But then at some level, doesn't that dreaded human nature kick in to where but what about me muscle rears its ugly head?
Absolutely. That's why in this process, cultivating the human spirit, that is the challenge. It's not about the technology. The technology is there, we can create more access for it, but as I mentioned, you have to re-educate or educate people to be integral humans, building up their character and moral intelligence.
How do you go about that though? I mean, you don't just
I think
click
how
your
to go about it?
Yeah.
Through your actions. Like for example, if we are doing our stuff, we start our school, we are sharing openly. Part of the stuff we do is service to service projects. But I mean, just the very fact that we're producing stuff to give out there for free, that is plain love. It inspires people.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how you change the world.
It's also
so you give an example. Hey, it's doable and it's being done. So we're not sitting around. We're doing this. We're living it.
Yep.
And then people can get inspired for it and just rewire. I mean, we literally have to rewire our brains to this different way of thinking.
Absolutely.
I would add, I think it's a demonstration of high intelligence to be able to navigate this world as you help others, where everybody wins in the relationship. And I think it's a sign of low intelligence to be involved in businesses that are win-lose propositions. But that's the core of our economy. We win, you lose. We have the monopoly. You have no power. But I think this cultural shift is beginning to change. We talked about open source software. There's, open source AI models are becoming extremely popular now, and they're beating many of the closed source models. So I think that things can change. We can change culture over time into a mindset where it's okay if other people win too.
Yeah. I also tend to think that this is actually inevitable because what's the other side? It's destruction. So either we survive and evolve, or it's like we're going to go down.
Absolutely. And if we do go down, I want your blueprints.
Yeah,
that's
and
for
that's why
sure.
we're doing them because we're racing. The collaborative singularity here is racing with the so-called normal singularity that's a coming down the pike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcin, I have a final question because I know we're
Oh, I can't believe. I'm sorry, we've kept you over.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has gone so fast. I can't believe it.
I know it's fascinating. Marcin, when history looks back on open source ecology, what do you hope it represents? And how can someone watching right now take their first small step towards building the next civilization with you?
Oh man, I hope that in the future we will look back at this time and it's like, wow, we were subhumans. Maybe just like we talk about the ancient people. That's what I would like to contribute to a world where, hey, we've given up that scarcity competitive mindset and turned to empowering everybody. Just a bright future like we dream about as little kids. That's there for everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you've been a fascinating guest.
Oh man.
Thank you.
We could talk for hours. Let me give out your website though. Again, it's at learn.opensourceecology.org. And this event that's coming up, you can, if you click here, sign up. You can sign up, for a future event. How can they watch the home building that you're about to do in December? Is there a way that we can see that?
Yeah, there's actually, so we have a remote option for that. So people can also subscribe to the remote participation option where you participate in some of the webinars and things. So that's available. If you go to the Future Builders Crash Course, both options, the remote and the on-site, are there. Okay.
All right, very cool. I want to see that. And I would love for you to maybe post or share with us for the show pictures along the way of the progress of the home building. And we'd like to share those with the audience.
And afterwards, Mike, let's have Marcin back on and you can talk about the build and show and tell. That would be very cool.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that, especially maybe after the holidays.
Right.
And people start thinking about homes and moving and things in the first part of the year. But when you come back, I want to ask you about things, tiny homes, so-called tiny homes,
Yep.
and modular homes and so on. There are many different approaches to home building, but I think the approach that you have is replicable, and it can be done locally. You don't have to have a central factory that makes things and then ships it out to you.
Absolutely. And because we're scalable, it's both scalable up and down. So you can make a micro house as well using the same type of modular construction system.
Right.
Wow. Okay. I can't wait. All right.
Yep.
Well, Marcin, it's just been a pleasure getting to speak with you today and meeting another like-minded human being who actually is fully human. That's because I keep wondering about some people, like, how come you're not in with the human race here? Because they're just in for themselves. But you're fully human. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Look forward to more collaboration. Okay.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Marcin. You were great. Cheers.
Okay, so that's opensourceecology.org is the main website, or learn.opensourceecology if you would like to sign up and watch the construction event taking place, or learn how to make your own modular home on site for a fraction of the cost of a typical home builder. So, Todd, you and I are going to take a break, and we'll come back with the after party discussion right after the break. So stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Perfect. All right.
Join the official discussion channel for this show on Telegram at t.me/decentralizedtv, where you can ask questions or offer suggestions of who we should interview next. Also be sure to subscribe to the email newsletter on decentralized.tv, where you'll be alerted about 1 day in advance of each new upcoming episode before it gets published. On Decentralized.tv, you'll also find links to our video channels and social media channels across all platforms, including Brighteon, Rumble, BitChute, Twitter, Truth Social, and more. Check it all out at Decentralized.tv. All right, welcome back, folks. This is the after party of our Decentralized TV episode with Marcin. Todd, hey, man, what did you think about that interview? Time flew also.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. I mean, I learned so much, but yet I know there's so much more to learn. I just can't wait to go back through his site now again.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the questions to be able to ask him. Now I want to really just kind of go and just be like I don't know, vegetables and soup, and just soak it all in, Mike, because he's just fascinating, man.
It's really important that I think we also help support what he's doing, because
yes,
you think about what we're all up against here. You and I and Marcin and others, we believe in open source knowledge. We believe in sharing know-how and wisdom generation to generation for humanity. But we live in a system that doesn't believe in that, right? We live in a system that's winner take all, monopoly control, centralize everything, including food.
Right.
And because of centralized food, that's why our children are eating processed junk food in the schools. It's insane. Centralization leads to destruction. I mean, really, that's where we are in history right now. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my wife left for a 4-day trip, and this morning I couldn't share it with her, and I'll tell you why. But after 2+ years, we harvested the most beautiful, wonderful papaya. And I have 2 papaya trees that are just bursting with papayas, even all through the storms that we had last year and everything. Wow. They bounced back. But I'm just telling you that when she ate it this morning, it was like heaven. And she was like, wow, I cannot believe that this came from what was poisonous grass 2.5 years ago. And it is so wonderful and good and organic, and talked about farm to table. This is 10 yards in your backyard to table. And I bring that up only in saying that, it's not centralized food that we ate this morning, right? It all started with decentralized will and intent to go out and escape, Mike.
I love it. And if somebody asks you a question, like when, because food forests cost money to put in, right? And if they say, when does the food forest pay for itself? Your answer should be with the very first papaya.
Yes. Well, what I always tell people is it delivers food immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, you harvest food immediately. It takes about a year to 3 years to be able to harvest the food for our bodies, but the food for your soul starts day one.
True. Yeah.
Serious.
Right.
It is so good for my spirit and my soul to be able to just witness God's creation in my backyard. So, and Mike, I know you, I told you I didn't share it with her this morning, and I need to tell you why. You aced the ACTs or the SA, whatever it was, in math, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what is 7 times 24?
Wait a minute. Are you going to give me a calculus question?
Nope.
On top of this?
One simple math equation, 7 times 24. You can use a calculator if you want.
168.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Well, Mike, I need to tell you that right now, 167 hours ago, I went on my 7-day water fast, and I timed it for the end of this episode.
Oh, really? No way.
Yes. I wanted to do a Control-Alt-Delete on my body to be able to get into autophagy, which basically just rewires your whole body, and it just renews your whole body. And I just wanted to see if I could do it. And it has been a fascinating week. Was not as hard as I thought it would be. But this morning when she tore into that papaya, man, I wanted it so badly, but I only let her eat half of it. So after this show, I'm going to eat the rest, and then I'll report back to you.
Man.
But yeah, that's but you have to appreciate, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing it after DTV.
Wow. Well, that's going to be the best tasting papaya ever.
My goodness gracious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway, good job on the fasting, by the way.
Thank you.
That's no small deal.
It was no small deal, and it was not as hard as I thought, but I think the physical benefits are going to outweigh any hunger pains I might have had on day 3, which is the only evening I had any hunger pains. The rest was yeah. Once you get into when your ketones are the energy that your brain uses, and your body, frankly, I had a few lbs to lose. Your body is not hungry because when it shifts into ketosis, it's harvesting
right
at your belly. I mean, it's getting plenty of food, right?
Yeah.
So I had no hunger. It was just astonishing, and wow. It was just like everything melted off in 7 days. So
great job.
Yeah, thank you. But back to our guest. Yeah, I hope everybody supports him. And I loved what he was talking about specific to universal basic assets. And he said afterwards, he goes, when people wake up to the fact that there's money in free, that's pretty amazing, to where you can take these free plans that he has, and you can turn it into your own entrepreneurial business, Mike.
True. Yeah, and I love how he's thinking about how to marry a business idea that actually does produce revenue with the idea of open source information.
Right.
And why not? I mean, this idea, like I mentioned Elon Musk, his board just approved a $1 trillion salary for him if he meets these milestones. And it's just, it's to the point of absurdity. It's like, who needs $1 trillion? What would you even begin to do with, come on. It's like, sometimes enough is enough.
Yeah.
Why can't we, as a society, be more open source, even the corporations, or like what we're doing? We're giving out the books at Brighttown Books, or with our AI engine, you give it out open source, download it, you can use it for free. This is the way we should be. Like, you don't need to scrap every last dollar from every consumer.
Right.
You don't win at the end by collecting more fiat currency.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really don't think people can comprehend $1 trillion. Right? I can't. I mean, really, what it would take to actually spend, how long it would take you if you spent even $1 million, a month. I mean,
Well, it'd take 1 million months then to spend the trillion.
there you go.
Yeah.
There's the guy who faced the SATs. So yeah, that really $1 million. Yes, it would.
Yep. 10 to the 6 difference. Yeah.
I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it really is. It really is mind-boggling. So it's like, again, what's the point, And what is it that makes us happy in life? It's not just having a bigger number on the screen when you log into your bank account.
No.
It's having purpose and meaning and joy and having health, abundance, cognition, having intelligence, having passion about things, right? These are the things that matter. None of these are captured in economic indicators.
Oh, they aren't. They aren't. That is so true. It is like, they talk about these really super wealthy people, how money doesn't buy happiness. And I say I think they coined that phrase for a reason, that it's true, right? I mean, because, or if you have these trust fund babies, how they're just miserable, right? Because they've never accomplished anything, right? that served their own purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wish Marcin the best, and I really hope that our audience in particular can find ways to be able to support him. And by the way, I just want to brag on our audience, Mike. Our audience, we have learned from so many guests, are more supportive than when some of our guests go on larger shows with larger
That's true, yeah.
platforms. It's like we step up.
Well, look, and the credit goes to our audience. The people that watch this kind of show are, highly intelligent, highly informed, pro-human, passionate people who, and I think many of them, maybe they've lived a whole life in the business world and they've already retired from that with, financial wealth, but they're looking for more meaning and more solutions that are long-term, which is what this show is all about. So we resonate with those people.
Yeah, and I love that our guests, and they love it too, because I do a lot of UNA consults every week, and people come back to this because they giggle about the fact that we talk about the internal middle finger. And our guests,
and I'm writing that book now with the book engine.
Are you really?
Yeah, I mean, see, I built the book engine at brighttownbooks.com so that I could produce a book. Well, let me back up. It only takes 10 minutes to produce the finished book after I have my full prompt of what I want in it. Right. So that book, which I mentioned, just to back up, I first mentioned it on the show with you.
Yes, you did.
And it's going to be called Awaken Your Internal Middle Finger. And it's a book about saying no to all the false authority that exists in society. But I'm going to have that book featured on brighttownbooks.com very soon.
That. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
it's going to be amazing.
Can I at least write the foreword, and all I'm going to do is it's going to be this.
I'm just wondering what the cover image might be for the book,
Yeah, it'll be good.
It'll be good. But last night, as I'm still building out some of the final touches on the engine. So I had it write a book called Grocery Warning, which is a book that I first wrote 20 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And it's just about the toxic ingredients in the grocery store, right?
Yes.
Processed foods, that kind of thing. And so I gave it the concept of grocery warning with just basically a 1-sentence prompt. And I said, go, and it builds a table of contents, then it refines it, and then it starts writing all the chapters. It does the research, it builds the chapters, it does the fact-checking, the alteration, the editing, and then the packaging into a PDF, and it posts the PDF, and it emails me the PDF link.
Jeez.
And it did all that in about 10 minutes. And I was like,
you are just going to unleash so much creativity in the world with that tool.
Oh, seriously. Yeah. No, everybody's going to want to use it. And it's free. Again, it's free for those of you watching. By the time you see this, well, it may not be fully launched yet, but it'll be in the pilot phase. And it it won't be long before it's fully public where anybody can use it. But at first, we're only going to let like people that are on our email list use it, to kind of test it, like a beta phase.
Sure.
So that's first, and you'll need to enter a token in order to use it. But after that's all, any bugs are worked out or whatever, then we're just going to open it up to the full public sometime, before the end of this year.
Right. Amazing.
But I'll give you tokens, Todd. You can have all the tokens you need.
I'll try to earn
play
them.
with it. Yeah.
I earn my tokens. I have one question for you, Mike, related to the ranch that was just weighing on me heavily, and I cannot break my fast without having the answer. Your skid steer, right? When you're driving your skid steer, does it give you skid marks?
So that's a funny question, but actually what I have is a tracked version that's called a compact track loader or a CTL. So it's really not a skid. Skid steers have wheels.
Okay.
But tracked, if you put tracks on instead of wheels, then it's a much better machine.
Yeah. It's a skid steer on steroids. It doesn't get stuck.
It doesn't get stuck. Well, you can still get stuck, but it's hard to get stuck. But it's much better in all kinds of terrain. It's got more traction on the ground. So if you're scooping up dirt and things like that, or lifting giant boulders with it, it's so much better. Wow.
Now, why would you use it to lift up giant boulders, like on your ranch? Educate us on that. Like where do you say, I need my skid steer to go, this is a giant boulder that I want to relocate?
Well, so where I live, there are giant boulders everywhere that are just part of the landscape.
Okay.
And then, and these boulders have great uses. So I like to use all the local rocks and boulders for different kinds of things.
Okay.
Different kinds of projects, or, making little walkways or little shelters for my goats and things like that. So,
cool.
Yeah. So I like to use the local materials that are on the ranch. Nice. But some of these rocks weigh 5,000 pounds easy, or more, 8,000 pounds. I've had boulders so heavy I could not lift them with any piece of equipment. I had to scoot them along because I could just push them, and that's all I could do.
Wow.
To get them where I want them to be. But it's kind of like our guests. You want to use local materials wherever you can to achieve things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would think that if I was just a little piece of your land, I would be waking up every day saying, yeah, there's nothing boring going on around here.
No, it's not boring at all. And I'm also growing loblolly pine trees because I'm harvesting the pine needles to make shikimic acid tea, which beats the plague.
Okay.
It kills COVID and everything else. So I'm actually growing masses of anti-plague medicine in the form of pine needles.
Wow.
And it's like, I don't need to go to the pharmacy for anything. I don't go to the doctor. I don't go to the pharmacy. I grow my medicine. I eat my medicine in the superfoods and everything that I have here. I got
to insert here. You and I did have the conversation about my fast earlier in the week. And I did thank you because in the morning I can have black coffee, but I also chose to get my nutrients, and maybe this is what helped, by your what is the brand? The B?
Is it the Protovite?
Yeah, it's your superfood that you had in there. It has 5 calories.
Is it Groovy Bee?
Groovy Bee, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Groovy Bee superfood. Yeah, we have like a chocolate and a vanilla formula. Yeah. And
man, it didn't destroy my experience with the coffee, and I knew I was getting those nutrients, and I think just mentally it gave me this edge saying, okay, my body's just fine.
See, that's great. You're getting the nutrients that you need without the carbohydrate and calories.
Without those nutrients triggering insulin, which would destroy my ketosis.
Right.
And my autophagy.
Right.
That's right.
A quick question. Did you also exercise vigorously during the fast, or did you not?
I, on purpose with intent, I just walked. I walked 10,000 steps a day. But I didn't go to the gym, but I just took a nice walk every day in the sun, with my shirt off. I pulled a Mike Adams on your ranch, but everybody in our community probably can't unsee that, but oh well. But yeah, I just took a nice casual stroll.
That's
Took
great.
me about an hour and 20 minutes each day to be able to get that walk in, and that was it. I mean,
Well, that's great. I think you're doing exactly the right thing. I think fasting with moderate exercise is the best approach.
right.
You don't want to do
Yeah.
intense exercise because then you'll get so hungry, you'll probably eat.
Oh, I've learned that through this autophagy process, the end of the fast is when your human growth hormone naturally really kicks in. So you want to do I will start my weightlifting tomorrow at the gym when my HGH is at its peak. And that'll start everything else off on the right foot, I think.
Man, that's awesome. You're in the middle of a health revolution.
I am. And it's just one of those things that I remember I was listening to some podcasts and stuff while I was on a walk, and somebody talked about a 7-day fast, and the doctor, I think I sent you, I may have even sent you a link saying, man, we should have this guy on to talk about fasting, because it was just, it just, all of the health benefits blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? Why not me?
Powerful medicine. And, in addition to protecting your health assets, I love the fact that our guest talked about UBA, Universal Basic Assets,
Yes.
instead of Universal Basic Income.
That's
I
right.
thought that was really great. And, speaking of acronyms, we got to have a UNA for your UBA. Right?
Right.
Right. So Universal Basic Assets, if you have assets, you need to protect them. I think
Yes.
now more than ever. And what I love about what you've been doing over the last several years is helping people learn about and discover and use these UNAs, these unincorporated nonprofit associations. So you want to tell our audience about that, because that's something that you offer to help people protect their UBAs.
I do. Just to tee it up, everyone should go to my575e.com and click on the Let's Go after you hit the landing page. And then you'll get to an area where you'll put in your email address, and you'll get to where there's a 90-minute video of me interviewing a gentleman named Dennis Gray, who is the subject matter expert in this. It's a 90-minute interview. Everybody who watches it, who gets a UNA, most of them comment, especially during consultations, that video was so informative and well done. So he was a great guest. And then there's a 11-page PDF, an explanatory PDF that accompanies the video. Once you watch that, if you're intrigued further, you can either move forward to acquire UNA if that was enough information for you, or what a lot of people do, many people do, is they go ahead and book a private consultation with me. You just scroll down a little bit and it'll be self-evident. And it is $150, but I tell everybody the only reason why I charge anything is because when I didn't, as you know, Mike, we've talked about it before, a lot of people don't show up because people don't respect free. So I end up giving it back to you when you order a UNA, and you just take it off the investment. So that is my way of being able to just encourage people to invest the time and that little bit of money so that we can talk about your personal situation, Mike. And I will tell everybody that now the number is over 400 people over the last 2.5 years, Mike, that I've helped acquire their own UNAs. And we have an amazing private Telegram group of like-minded people. They have all come through this show, Mike. And so they all have a really healthy inner middle finger. And they're all just really, really smart. I didn't start that Telegram group thinking that I would have this amazing organic community that evolved from it, but there we have it. And and you'll love this, Mike, we have taken all of the relevant pinned messages over the last 2.5 years and have organized them in it's called a UNA Biz directory, and encrypted it. So people who get into that, who acquire a UNA, they get access to all of that.
Oh, wow. That's a wealth of knowledge.
We did have it kind of where anyone that got in there, they could use it and stuff. But we were really uncomfortable with just like there were some Word docs and things like that. And we're like, Control Alt Delete that. So I hired a guy who has been great to encrypt everything, and we've been getting feedback this week about how excellent it is, how it's just so easy to be able to use. But Mike, I want to share with you, this morning I launched an email. You know, when anyone goes and they put their email in there and they watch it, they get on the list. And so about once a month, I'll send out an email to people just to kind of like when I learned about the woman from Michigan whose mother had her house, a lien put on her house because of extended care, senior care by the IRS. I sent out an email to educate everybody on this. So today, this morning, I sent an email out. The subject line, Mike, was healthcare just got 700% more expensive. Read what's worse. And the fact is, this is November, Mike, and everybody I speak to is experiencing the fact that health insurance premiums for 2026 will be
skyrocketing. Yeah.
And so part of this, and excuse me if I'm just going to read, I just want to say, you know, are you aware of the 2009 Harvard study that presented 62% of bankruptcies are caused by medical bills? But
medical beer. You've been drinking too much medical beer.
But here's what you may not know, but is arguably worse. Recent data shows that the actual bankruptcy killer isn't usually the medical bill itself. It's what happens after. Medical debt, plus unexpected income loss, plus skyrocketing insurance premiums, plus increased deductibles. It equals financial catastrophe. So, Mike, here's an example. You know, people lose their job or they hit a slow season in their business, their emergency savings gets tight, then their family member gets sick, medical bills pile up, your health insurance premiums jump 700 to 1,000% during this year's healthcare.gov enrollment period. Yeah, that's actually happening right now. So one domino hits, the rest fall fast. It's literally unanticipated financial tragedy. But here is what most people miss, Mike. It's not just the debt that destroys you, it's the liability. What liability? It's when you get sued over unpaid medical debt, when a creditor, Mike, goes after your personal assets, when someone gets hurt on your property because of your business, suddenly they're not just coming after your business bank account, they're coming after your house, your savings, everything you've built. And that's where most people discover that they have zero protection, Mike. And you know that these unincorporated nonprofit associations provide the vehicle for people to proactively, you know, they say you can't buy car insurance after the accident. This is before the accident. And those people who are paying attention, the time is now to be able to protect your home, protect all of your assets, decrease your personal liability. So when you know what potentially hits the fan, then you own nothing, control everything is the goal, Mike.
That's the thing, because the great taking is coming.
It is.
With bail-ins and seizures of people's homes and more. And this is the best way that I know of to protect those assets in something that's very difficult for any institutions or governments to reach.
Yeah, that's right.
Even if you yourself have a high personal settlement against you, it doesn't touch these other UNAs because you don't own them.
That's right. That's right. In certain situations, what I want to just share with people is don't wait until it's almost too late. That's the thing, so that the IRS would never say, we're disallowing that. We're disallowing that. We're disallowing that.
Right. Do it now so you have lots of time.
Do it while the world is good,
Okay, so that's all at my575e.com. That's Todd's site, and I strongly recommend that you check it out. And also, our AI engine is trained on some of your material right now.
But it's going to be better trained.
It's going to be even better. That's true.
Thank you for your help this morning of guiding me on how to be able to get most out of that.
No problem. And let me mention this. So in terms of our tools and how people can enjoy some of what we've put out there, if you go to brighteonbooks.com, here's the current placeholder, and soon you'll be able to generate unlimited number of books on any topic and have them delivered to you for free.
Amazing.
And all these books are actually written by our AI engine, which is trained on, hundreds of millions of pages of content plus your UNA content. So if you ask for a book about financial asset protection,
Yes.
it'll build out all these chapters for you, which you can then approve, or you can modify the chapters if you want. But if you say go, you'll see that probably some of the chapters are about, or at least one of them is going to mention the UNA,
Right.
or other ways. I mean, I don't know what it's going to come up with. We'll have to see. Using gold and silver, for example, or purchasing land. And actually, Todd, every episode of DTV that we've done here is already influencing our model.
Is it really?
Yeah, because in fact, the other day, it's so funny. I was testing it, and this is for the grocery warning book. I was testing it, and it started writing chapters, and it was quoting Dr. Leonard Caldwell from our show. Yeah, from our show.
God. Wow, that's great.
I sent a paragraph to Dr. C. I was like, "Hey, Dr. C, my book generator just quoted you." He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Okay, we're doing a book generator, and it's trained on all of our interviews, and you said this, and that became part of the book."
That's
He's
amazing.
like, "Wow."
That's very cool, Mike.
It's very cool. Let me also mention how people can help support us. If you want to support us, shop at healthrangerstore.com. And that is where you can find all of the amazing products, nutrition, superfoods, storable foods, currently showing Black Friday deals and things like that. Dawson Knives, we've had John Roy on. Amazing knives. We've got just amazing products. Oh, that's a new picture for the kid. That's funny. Anyway, if you shop with us at healthrangerstore.com, not only are you getting lab tested, mostly certified organic foods and superfoods, but then whatever profits we earn, we pour it back into projects like brighteonbooks.com or brighteon.ai, brightu.ai, the AI engines and things like that are free and open source that can empower you. You can even download the AI model and use it locally for free forever.
Hey, Mike, can you imagine if Elon Musk shared that execution, that to where that $1 trillion or whatever he just invested back into making humanity better instead of just hoarding it, I mean, so everybody please support Mike, because all of this exists, everything.
Yeah.
And I have so many consultations where people always open, I've been listening to Mike for 20 years, and people always tell me that you are their go-to source for news on the daily. And so please support Mike and buy clean food. You'll feel really good and support humanity while you eat.
Thank you so much for that plug, Todd. And I just want to say to the customers, our products are not cheap products. They're going to cost more because our lab, it's a multi-million-dollar laboratory facility to do all the testing and everything. But you're going to get more back in benefits of all the free tools. You're going to get much more than what you spend with us. For example, after we launch brighteonbooks.com, there's going to be like 1,000 books there within probably a week. You'll be able to download all 1,000 books, and like, what's the market value of 1,000 books? It's like $20,000 or something.
That's crazy.
And it's going to be like every how-to book that you could ever want. And you'll be able to build a digital library, put it on a thumb drive. It's yours to have and keep. It's not like Amazon Kindle, where Amazon can remotely delete your book, which they did. They deleted 1984 from people's Kindle devices. That happened a few years ago. And of course, they chose 1984 to delete because of the Ministry of Truth and all that. They're sending a message. When you download the PDFs from our site, they're yours to have forever. No one can take them from you, and you can share them with anyone. You can give them away. And if you don't get the book that you want, you can go to the site and generate your book.
Own.
Yeah, it's like, what's not to love?
Hey, Mike, can I put out there a Christmas wish list Doesn't need to be
Okay.
done by Christmas, but you have these books, right? Now, I like going on my 10,000 step walks. I listen to book. I'm a big audiobook fan. Is there any way of creating the tech to where you could have your own Audible, a Brady on Audible that I could listen to the books?
Well, that engine's already done. I actually started with that. But the thing is, it costs a lot to generate audio for like a 10-hour book. So what we're going to do is that it's Mike's choice. It's my choice of which books have audio produced. I'm going to choose like a couple of audio books or a couple of existing books each day to generate audio books versions. And then you'll be able to download those audio versions free of charge.
Okay. Like if I identified a book in that library that I'm like, that somebody else wrote or whatever, and I'm like, I love that.
Audio? Yeah, sure.
Will there be a way to do that? I mean, I'd be happy to pay for it.
For you just text me. Like at first, seriously, I'm going to be the guy that chooses which books go to audio.
I got you.
Because it takes several dollars per audio book just to do the audio generation.
I see. Okay.
So we can't give away like $50,000 of audio generation every day.
Right.
But if Elon Musk were to, give us $1 billion or whatever and say unlimited audiobooks, they're like, you got it,
Right.
But we don't have the funds to do that. So until audio, maybe a year from now, audio will get way cheaper to generate, and it might only cost us, nickels or dimes to do that for a book. And then that's going to make it much easier.
I'm just creatively saying, Mike, that if there was in your shopping cart the ability to donate $100 worth of audio book funds for you to do that, I probably would.
Well,
I'm serious.
We're thinking about different ways to do that. The bottom line is we want to make it free to the end user and free to everybody.
Yep.
And I've actually had people come to me on this project and say, Mike, you're making a huge mistake. You should just charge for it. And then you can launch an IPO and it'll be valued at $5 billion and you can walk away with $1 billion. Like, why don't you do that? Like, dude,
nope.
You're not even in my world.
Wrong guy.
This isn't Wall Street.
Wrong.
We are on a different mission than that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yours give you immediate access to the pearly gates at that point, Mike.
I don't know. We're just doing what we can for humanity. As our guest was today, what a great guest. And Todd, what a great conversation. I really love this. Thank you so much for your time today and for the suggestion for our great guest. Just amazing. What a great show.
Yes, thank you. And everybody, thank you for watching. You all are great. It's reinforced every day, and we love you.
Absolutely. I second that. We love you all. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other episodes at decentralize.tv. You'll want to watch them. You'll love them. And use all our free AI tools. Take advantage of everything that's at your fingertips right now like never before in human history. This is a breakout moment for human knowledge, empowerment, freedom, everything. So thank you for being with us on this incredible journey. I'm Mike Adams with Todd Pittner, and thank you everybody for watching. Take care.
Cheers.
Mother Nature provides many botanicals for good health. That's why we're offering you 5 liquid extracts and tinctures that are non-GMO, certified organic, and lab tested for glyphosate, heavy metals, and microbiology. Only at healthrangerstore.com.